A good aspect, the conjunction, I mean, these are super psychic and super intuitive people. They have all spirit, they have all these inner visions and ways of seeing things. That's quite incredible. But it's still on another level. It's hard to integrate just into this world. Puzzles. So when you're looking for appreciation, it's evasive outcomes. If you're giving it, it's hard to know if the person deserves it. But there's puzzles so you don't fit into just normal sense of appreciation. If someone makes you feel guilty, it could really bother you, it could really affect you, or you could make someone feel guilty for not satisfying you. So you can blame the parents, you can blame the partner, you can blame yourself, or you can be blamed. And these can create crippling situations or codependent situations that one has to learn to get self-reliance, to like yourself. So usually some dedicated hobby, some artistic thing, something emotional or something artistic that you're doing is a good spiritual hobby with this. Okay, now, so this is the dreamy aspect of Venus, and puzzles from being too dreamy or too imaginative or too desiring. To enchant, the enchanters of the rapture. Oh, I have the rapture of a new relationship. Oh, wow. You know, of course, not everyone else thinks rapture is necessarily down to earth. When you get to Pluto, the outermost planet, Pluto's the reality check planet. So Neptune's Venus, oh, I'm so in love, and Pluto's saying, so what? Not like Pluto's the harsh reality. So when Pluto is making a difficult aspect, a conjunction, a square, or opposition to Venus, the person's afraid of love. They control their values. There's harshness around. I'm not going to get what I want, and my things, what I want, is threatened, and they're feeling threatened. So they can satisfy other people, but they have trouble surrendering. Whereas a Neptune to Venus can surrender too much. A Pluto to Venus is too controlled and can't surrender. So they feel they overcompensate for this. They're going to do more things to cover up the sense that I'm afraid of trusting that much, or afraid I'm not good enough, or I'm not clear enough. I'm never going to get what I want, so I had to take this. There's a harsh element with Venus. And with each of these outer planets, there are challenges to your Venus, and you carry them with you. These are your spiritual prods across lifetime. And just because you can't let go of control doesn't mean you could control money. Like a lot of Pluto Venus people will work like crazy to make lots of money, be very, very rich. But that doesn't mean they're satisfied. So, or people can be controlling what they have. It can be a control factor, a violent factor, a control factor around satisfaction, around what love is. And if you're around it, it came from birth. So when that was there, if Pluto was on your Venus, when you were born, you weren't probably wanted. Your mom was having a rough time and wasn't being appreciated and was afraid. Or she was very weak, and you grew up with necessity upbringing and not loving upbringing. You can't just see this aspect and say that to someone. You see it, and you see that pressure there, but you work on the Venus and the sign in the house it's in, you work on the Pluto and the sign in the house it's in, and then that stress will just naturally be there. You can minimize the stress and help evolve the quality. The fear diminishes how much how much satisfaction you have, how much talent. You could be the best singer in the world, be afraid of singing. In fact, a lot of people with Pluto Venus aspects, I usually suggest they take some singing, because singing, you can either sing, you can't half sing. I'm like, it's not a singing. So there's a need to find truthfully, do you really love me? Is this really it? Is what but there's also a fear of love and anxiety complex built into Pluto Venus. So it can be really strong, make money, be tough, get everything it wants without consideration of others, or it can be in a situation where it's never getting what it wants and other people controlling it. But it's projecting what one wants outside of oneself and running into these difficulties. So someone who's never sung or never was encouraged to do anything artistic, just go get a straight business job or whatever, take care of your parents or whatever, they may have to just, at some point, just when they get older, indulge something impractical and something artistic to loosen up that Venus and to overcome those fears. So we all have relationships between every planet. And there's going to be at times when we have these stressful factors come up anyways. Some people start with that, and then they know how to deal with that, or they learn how to deal with that, and it evolves. Whether there's good or bad experiences, this is partly your karma across lifetimes. It's also it's kind of a destiny. Like your karma, you got what you got. How come this happened? You dished it out other times, it's coming back this time, it's here. And how do you make it better this time so you don't have to come back and have the same thing another time? But for love and appreciation, you almost have to fight for it with Venus. You don't want to fight for it. You're not going to get, there'll be some harsh cost to closeness and a fear of letting someone get that close. Or it could be a fear of being alone, accepting the first person that comes in and then having problems from that. Usually it's a defensiveness and a fear. And it's buried in, it's just mixed in the personality. You don't see it. They're just doing things. You don't always see why someone makes their choices. But then at some point in their life, at some time, this will culminate. And the person will have a chance to face, do I try and sing? Do I not? Do I do the thing I always wanted to do, or do I give it up? I always wanted to do this, but my husband doesn't want to let me. Or my wife doesn't think that's practical. Or I can't, I'm afraid of doing it. Sometimes, yeah, at certain times you have to go into finding something you like. For Venus, it's overcoming the fear of failure, a fear of not being loved, not being liked. Singing is beautiful. Now, if someone doesn't want to sing, they may just go sing in a church or chant in a temple. There's many ways that can be experienced, but it's trying to loosen up the hardened heart, or the feelings that can't be good enough. And you started, if you have this in your chart, it was here between your parents and you. Your soul came in and said, I'll take this, paying off old karma from another lifetime when you may not have dished it out. So I'm talking to you about this to talk about the aspect, to get a sense around it. You can't just immediately tell someone that. You have to work at it and see where they are, and you see the problem, how it's manifesting, and say, then you see the battle that has to be faced. But Pluto's the auditor, and Venus is what you're collecting. By the time the auditor's at your door, it's too late to try and hide things or throw things in the backyard. You pay the price. That's the Venus-Pluto. Difficult. Now, where are we with our time? Okay, about 10 minutes. Okay, these are the main things. Now, most of the class I'm doing, we're going to do, in the last class, we're going to take the angles, the ascendant, the IC, the MC, the descendant, and how they're affected by planets, which is a very different thing because the angles are sensitive points. They're not functions like the planets are. So we'll think of this last. Right now, I still want to just keep working on this puzzle, this salad dressing that's all mixed up. That's who we are. And we're looking at it, the layel, here's the vinegar, here's the oil, here's this. We're seeing all the layers of it. And you have that, okay, so what? You have that. And you're going on, you know you got it, but you never talk to anyone about it. But as someone coming into a consultant and talking to someone, you know you're going to have to, if they're going to make some choices, they're going to have some challenging talks because they're going to make fearful choices. And fearful choices create more fearful reactions, but truthful choices, what's really true, you don't tell someone you love them when you like them. You know, you don't make choices that you have to because you're afraid of the repercussions. You have to fight through it. There's a breakthrough on this that at some point that person will come to. So they'll be disenchanted and a little bit afraid or angry of satisfaction. That doesn't mean they couldn't go out of their way to satisfy another person, but to let go and surrender themselves, difficult. The Neptune to the Venus can surrender too easily. The Pluto to Venus, it surrenders very difficultly. So sometimes if you're afraid of art or afraid of some beauty, you have to try it to build up your self-worth. It's often a simple little thing that one always wanted to do but didn't do. Can loosen up that Venus a little bit. Whereas Neptune to Venus is getting so illusionary, it almost needs a little bit of Pluto to wake it up. Now,